So I wanted to check out this video. It's titled, I Won't Marry Even for Free. Even for free. Chinese men reveal why they're quietly giving up on love. Now, it says even for free because, in case you didn't know, in China, you have to, when you get married, the groom has to pay the bride's family either money or like some material goods type thing as when he's asking for, or when he gets married to their daughter. So he's saying even for free, even if I don't have to pay the bride price, I still don't want to get married. Let's check out why Chinese men are quietly giving up on marriage. Or is it on love or is it on marriage? So I'm pretty sure it's just on marriage. You can still love somebody without getting married to them. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you can have a relationship with somebody without getting married. You know what I'm saying? You can if she really loves you too, you can both agree to just be together without the government getting involved. So you can just get married, or technically get married without having the government involved. You can just be together.
Do you know any man around you in his 30s? Do you know any man around you in his 30s or 40s with no house, no car, no wife, but who lives in an extraordinarily calm way? Do you think they've truly achieved genuine clarity about life? Or are they just—
I'm not gonna lie, this kind of sounds like AI. I don't know. Or maybe the dude's voice is just like that. But this is by the YouTube channel All Asian Dilemmas.
carrying out a resigned, peaceful non-cooperation with reality? Let's first watch a street interview video.
Marriage for what? I'm telling you, nowadays, even if they gave you a wife for free, you wouldn't want her, you know? It's not even free, and you still don't want it. Right, so why would I want it? It's a trend. Look, given how society is developing these days, a lot of young people don't really want to get married anymore. Getting married, you know what that means. Getting married still means bringing high spending. What's high spending? Let me give you an example. He found a wife, right? Just the bride price alone cost him $180,000 plus a car loan, plus a mortgage. He's got everything, right? Now the pressure of life, he can barely breathe, crushed by loan payments. Right, he buys his wife bags and makeup every day.
Oh, hell
These
no.
things, spending a lot of money. But once you have a wife, these are necessary expenses. A girl is definitely going to want to buy these things, right? So that's what I mean by her bringing high spending. See, now I call this automatically avoided high spending.
So to put it in the simplest of simple terms, she's a bill. She's a bill. She's another bill. And they're avoiding that because they can just live a single life, chill life, and excuse me, just live a single chill life and an enjoyable life, and all the money they make they can spend on themselves to do whatever they want with it. You know what I'm saying? Or if they want to invest in their hobbies, or if they want to travel, whatever they want to do. They're saying if they get married, she's just another bill. She's gonna want all these extra materialistic things and this and that, and of course you have to worry about her well-being, and you got to provide for her and take care of her all the time. And it's just like, it's just another bill. They don't want to deal with that. Like, and inflation hits, you know what I'm saying? So things eventually get more expensive anyway, and some people can't even have time, can't even get jobs. You know, even here in America, there will be companies saying they're hiring, but nobody can get like an entry level position. So, and some places, like at least here in America, you need at least 2 jobs to live in a nice in a decent spot and be able to live decently, you know? So why would people want to get married if the other, like, let's say the wife doesn't want to work anymore, even though she can, but she doesn't want to work anymore, and she wants you to continue bringing to work more hours so that she can live the life that she wants to live. But then when you start working the more of those hours to give her that lifestyle, she'll start complaining that you're never around. And since you're never around, she'll cheat on you. And then when you ask her why she cheated on you, she'll say it's because you're never around. But you're like, well, I'm never around because I work all these hours to provide you the life that you want, since you don't want to work. You want to stay home. And she'll be like, well, it's not my fault. So who wants to deal with that? That's just another bill, fam. Damn. I see why they're doing it.
right? Meaning if you don't get married, you avoid a lot of high spending. But have you ever thought, like, decades from now when you're old, 60 or 70, unable to walk anymore, then you get some minor or major illness, what do you do? These days, there are too many divorced people in this society, right? Worst case, later on I'll just find someone who's already divorced, who already has a kid, and her son will already be 20, 30 years old by then. Then I won't even need to do anything, right? By then, my life will already be pretty good. See, high spending avoided. Avoided what? High spending avoided. And I saved on that too. And I still got a wife. Still got a 2-for-1 deal, right? And the kid is already grown. I don't even need to buy formula. Don't need diapers. Don't need to spend money on raising him. Education, all that. If he ends up marrying later, and if he's good to me, filial to me, I'll help him out a bit. If he's not good to me, not filial, I won't be discouraged either. I won't get angry. Why? Because he's not even my biological child anyway. Look, nowadays when you get married, don't you have to give a bride price? You do. Want kids too? You do. Don't you have to spend money going to eat at your father-in-law's place? Buying him a phone? Giving red envelopes? If the father-in-law has a major or minor illness, don't you have to spend money? If I wait until I'm 50 or 60 to find a companion, but then the parents will already be gone. And after that I won't have so much high spending anymore. It'll just be plain everyday living. Now's the time to enjoy.
He said, bro, I'm gonna wait till their parents are dead before I get married. It'll be a little less spending, you know what I'm saying? But hey, less spending is less spending.
Enjoy life, enjoy it. Honestly, to tell you the truth, nowadays the biggest pressure on young people comes from family. Comes from this whole bride price thing. Right, completely avoiding that. I think what you said is really true. It really makes sense. And it voices what a lot of young people feel these days. Right, I smoke my cigarette looking at the sky. I live one day at a time, right? I soak in the bath looking at the clock. I enjoy every comfortable second. Eat when I want to eat. Drink when I want to drink. I don't dwell on things in my heart. Is your life really that carefree? Honestly, listening to you, I'm envious. You don't need to envy or be jealous of anyone, because if you envy and feel jealous, you'll never stop envying. Everyone wants their own thing.
And yet, social media has people wanting to live the life these influencers are showing that they live, and then people get depressed because they can't achieve that same lifestyle, and so that depression hits and makes them want to do things sometimes. But I digress. When you also when you get married, you have to hope that you married a good one. Like, she could have been acting one way the entire time y'all were dating, but then as soon as you get married, she starts to show her true self and just becomes a bitch or something, or you find out that she never really loved you. You were just financially competent and could give her the things that she wanted. So that's why she decided to settle with you. Settle. Even though you've been taking care of her and everything like that and doing everything you can for her and you actually love her. But she's like, yeah, I settled for you. Damn, that sucks.
Why is it that in real life you almost never see anxiety among older single men? There's a saying that China took thousands of years to make men believe they should marry and start a family. Family is
I don't know how it is in China. Like, in China, I wonder if they can do like no fault divorce in the court and then take half your shit like they can in America. So it makes me wonder, or that is another thing that they would have to worry about if that's how it is in China. I don't know if I don't think it is, to be honest. But obviously in America, there's a lot of states that have no fault divorce, and then they can just divorce you and be like, all right, I'm gonna take this half of all your shit and the kids, and you gotta pay for all that shit, and bye.
is a society stabilizer, capable of making a group of
Painful.
energetic people work hard and dedicate themselves for the sake of their families, rather than letting them, once their bellies are full, wander aimlessly through the streets doing nothing. And destroying that mindset took only 10 years. Have you noticed? Nowadays, the internet is full of discussions about older single women. Those who resent being unmarried, who push back, who make peace with themselves, a huge uproar. But in reality, that group of men in their 30s and 40s who still haven't married is so quiet it's as if they don't even exist. They get off work and go fishing, or stay in their rented apartments playing video games, or gather with a few friends at a street food stall, order some small dishes and drink a couple of beers. This silence is actually quite unsettling. because it means that this group, which should be society's most stable and hardest working force, has collectively withdrawn from the competition. They're no longer playing the game, and they're no longer anxious either. In the past,
Yeah, I'm done, bro. I'm done. It's just not worth it anymore. Like, times have changed. Things aren't as they used to be, and some people things just ain't worth it no more. Nope. I'd rather not pay the bride price. I'd rather keep my money and live the life that I want to live.
social logic was crystal clear. A man had to start a family, had to build a career, and this wasn't just about carrying on the family line. It was actually a trap society set for men. Think about it. Once a man starts a family, has a wife, children, a warm home, he suddenly has a vulnerability. He becomes extremely obedient, extremely able to endure. His boss scolds him. He doesn't dare quit because next month's mortgage payment is due. A client...
And you got a family to take care of. It's not like you're just alone, and it's like, okay, well, if times are tough, I know I can stick it out. But if you don't want your family to have to go through tough times because you don't want them to have to stick it out. Like, if you had to do it by yourself, you know you could. So yeah, that's a vulnerability, bro. So your boss can be a bitch to you, and it's like, damn, I gotta deal with it. I gotta deal with it because I need to keep everybody happy and provide for them. Damn. This sucks.
mistreats him, he has to grin and bear it because his kids' online course fees still aren't paid. At that point, the man becomes the most useful fuel. Like a loyal old ox, he wants to lower his head and keep moving forward, driving consumption, propping up the housing market, and on top of that, maintaining social order. Back then, starting a family and building a career was a man's default life setting. For the sake of that setting, a man could live like a machine. And as long as a warm home awaited him at the end of the road, he'd feel this life was worth living. But in just these short 10 years, that chain of logic has completely broken down. The most direct reason is that the math simply no longer adds up. Nowadays, marriage, for many ordinary men, is no longer a safe harbor but a high-stakes gamble where you lose money and gain no recognition in return. When a house in a mid-tier city requires wiping out 3 generations worth of savings, when bride price and weddings have become an outright devouring of assets, when raising a child has become a bottomless arms race, men suddenly realize that if they give everything they have, sacrifice their dignity to the fullest, the end result would just be an empty shell carrying 30 years of debt.
And all that stress is why women live longer than men. All that stress and responsibility you got on your shoulders, you carry all that weight you carry. That's why that shit breaks you down, you know what I'm saying, over time. And that's why women live longer than men.
Plus a family that could explode at any moment over some trivial daily squabble. So why bother trying so hard? Over these 10 years, information has become too transparent. Through short videos, men have clearly seen the petty annoyances within marriage, seen the mutual calculating that happens during divorce, and also seen just how humiliating life becomes for men after they've started a family and built a career. So they began a kind of extremely clear-eyed self-cancellation of the contract. You'll notice that once a man decides not to marry, his cost of living drops to an absurd degree. A t-shirt costing a few dozen yuan lasts for years.
Sure does.
Fast food costing just a few yuan tastes even better. He no longer has to beg left and right to buy a house, no longer has to lower himself to save up for a bride price. He discovers that even earning just 4,000 or 5,000 a month, as long as he doesn't marry, he can live like a king. Damn. This happiness is something...
I mean, what kind... You got one kind of life that looks like this, and one kind of life that looks like that. I mean, there's one lifestyle where it's like, okay, you have a lot of burdens on you. You got a lot of weight to carry. You got a lot of responsibility, but you can do it, and you do it for love or whatever the reason is. But you can do it. The other lifestyle is looking like, I just gotta worry about me, and this a lot less worth of stress, you know what I'm saying? A lot less stress to deal with, a lot less responsibility to deal with, and damn, I can live like a fucking king with just this one. No wonder they dropping out of marriage, bro.
his peers, burdened with mortgages and worried about school districts for their kids, simply cannot understand. You think he's anxious? No, he's probably just relieved he didn't throw his entire life away in that race called success. The consequence of this withdrawal is that you can't see their anxiety, because anxiety presupposes that I want something but can't have it. The moment a man says in his heart, I don't want it anymore, the anxiety instantly evaporates. This is actually a silent resistance. Society needs men to marry, needs them to go into debt, needs them to work themselves to the bone for their families. But now, this group of men in the prime of their lives, who should be pulling the millstone once their bellies are full, start wandering the streets aimlessly, or hide in the virtual world seeking comfort. In the past, this state would have been criticized as lacking ability.
Hiding in the virtual world seeking comfort. Damn. Yeah, people are doing that right now. Just putting on that headset, sitting in the virtual world, staring at a mirror, just being like, yeah, this is all I need.
Lacking ambition, but now they no longer care about that kind of judgment. Society has always been quite harsh toward poor, single men. A single woman can be called an independent woman and can even carry a certain air of sophistication.
An independent queen.
But a poor man who is
with bodies on bodies on bodies and no respect for the world and no respect for others and entitled as fuck.
Stayed single too long is, in the eyes of many, a failure, even a potential threat. Since the world isn't kind to them, they simply hide themselves away. Don't socialize, don't speak up, and live as if they were invisible. You don't see their anxiety because no one is willing to listen to their anxiety? Over these 10 years, we've witnessed something solid disintegrating. Family.
Why'd the music suddenly get louder?
This stabilizer is losing its effect. When a man's motivation is no longer his wife and children, but instead his own humble happiness, he stops being that useful fuel. This quiet disappearance is actually more unsettling than a loud, dramatic protest, because it represents a complete loss of confidence, no more expectations for the future. Doubt about the meaning of striving, the desire for that home extinguished. If you ask them what they'll do when they're old without having married, they'll most likely respond with a bitter smile. I'll just live day by day. Why think that far ahead? This mindset is the last shield ordinary men have been able to raise against the pressure of reality over these 10 years. If all the men in this society start choosing to withdraw from the race, what will become of our future? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about the truth of this era.
I got a question though. So if men are no longer, finding reasons to, or if having a family and enjoying life with, loved ones, your own family and shit, when you take that out of the equation, men can feel less obligated to work hard and to help society grow. So would there be a decline in societal expansion or societal growth if men stopped, working for families, the need of a family, and decided that they just wanted to focus on working for themselves? I mean, it takes a lot less to provide for just yourself than it does for a family. So would society's growth start to stunt if men did that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Peace and much love to you.